September 1st, 2025. A date that armies circle on their calendars every year, marking the birth of Jungkook, the youngest member of BTS, their golden maknae, the boy who grew into one of the most powerful idols in the world. This year, as the clock struck midnight in Korea, armies around the globe began flooding timelines with birthday hashtags. Fan sites released breathtaking edits. Billboards lit up in New York, Tokyo, and Seoul, and charity projects were launched in Jungkook's name. The atmosphere was electric, exactly what you'd expect for one of the biggest stars in music. But amid the global noise, something was strangely quiet. As fans scrolled endlessly, searching for messages from the BTS members, one name stood out in its absence: Jimin. For years, Jimin has been the member most consistent in marking Jungkook's birthday with a special post. Sometimes it was heartfelt, sometimes playful, often a simple picture with a caption that carried more meaning than 1,000 words. Their tradition had become a thread ARMY could count on, a yearly reassurance of their bond. This year, however, the silence was loud. Fans waited in anticipation, refreshing their feeds, checking Weverse, Twitter, now X, and Instagram. Hours turned into half a day. A full day passed. Still nothing. And that's when the questions began. For outsiders, it may seem small. After all, birthday posts are just words or pictures on a screen. But in the ARMY universe, they carry weight. They're symbolic. They're public declarations of love and brotherhood. Jimin has been Jungkook's rock since their earliest days in the trainee dorms. Fans still recall stories of how Jimin looked after Jungkook when he first moved to Seoul as a teenager, far from his family. Their bond grew through shared struggles, rehearsals that stretched into dawn, and the suffocating pressure of survival in the K-pop industry. So when Jimin celebrated Jungkook's birthday every year, it wasn't just routine, it was an echo of their history. Fans saw it as proof that despite fame, distance, or military service, some things never changed. But this year broke the pattern. One fan wrote on X, "It feels like a tradition has ended. Every year, Jimin made JK's birthday feel even more special. This year, the silence is painful." Another added, "Even if he wished him privately, we miss seeing it. Their bond has always been something we hold on to as fans. It feels different now." For ARMY, this wasn't about entitlement. It was about longing. A missing puzzle piece in a day meant to feel complete. Within hours, Jungkook's birthday trends were overshadowed by another: where is Jimin? The fandom found itself split. Some defended Jimin passionately, reminding others that not every moment needs to be shared with the world. Others admitted to feeling sadness, even betrayal, that something so symbolic had been left unspoken. On Weverse, fans debated endlessly. Was this a personal choice, a strategic silence due to ongoing controversies, or perhaps Jimin had celebrated privately, away from the noise of the internet? A particularly viral comment read, "We don't own their friendship, but it has always been shared with us. To lose that glimpse now feels like losing part of BTS history." Another, more supportive fan countered, "Friendship is not content. If Jimin shows silence, maybe it's his way of protecting what they have. We shouldn't demand proof of love." The emotional tug-of-war captured just how invested ARMY is, not just in BTS as artists, but in their relationships as brothers. For many, BTS isn't just a band. It's a story of family, trust, and survival. When that story shows even the slightest crack, the fandom feels it like their own. The missing birthday post didn't come at a random moment. It came under the heavy shadow of Jimin's recent controversies. In late August 2025, Korean and international media lit up with speculation after a video allegedly featuring Jimin and actress Song Da-eun surfaced online. The short clip, allegedly filmed in an elevator, spread like wildfire on TikTok and Twitter. Fans and haters alike dissected every frame, with some insisting it was Jimin, others claiming it was fabricated. Then came the storm: accusations, hate comments, and relentless scrutiny. Song Da-eun herself was slammed for supposedly leaking private content, while Jimin's name trended for days under hashtags filled with love and criticism. Big Hit Music eventually stepped in, issuing a rare statement: Jimin and Sangda-an had been in a relationship in the past, but it had ended. The agency urged fans and media to respect Jimin's privacy and move on. But the damage was done. So when September 1st arrived, many fans speculated that Jimin's silence wasn't accidental. They theorized that he was avoiding public interaction to prevent further media frenzy. If Jimin had posted anything about Jungkook, the comment sections would have been flooded with hate, overshadowing the celebration. As one ARMY put it, maybe Jimin stayed quiet to protect Jungkook's birthday from becoming about his scandal. If that's true, it's heartbreaking, but also selfless. When Jimin stayed quiet on Jungkook's birthday, it wasn't just ARMY who noticed. Major entertainment outlets across South Korea and even global tabloids began publishing stories. Headlines like, "Did Jimin forget Jungkook's birthday?" or "Silence between BTS members" flooded online spaces. Some media painted it as a rift inside BTS, while others speculated Jimin was avoiding further public attention after his dating controversy. The silence, once just a missing post, transformed into a global conversation. Suddenly, what could have been a private choice became fuel for sensational stories. ARMY has always been united in love, but moments like this showed cracks in the fandom. Some fans defended Jimin fiercely, reminding others of BTS's 10-plus years of brotherhood and countless moments proving their bond. One missing post doesn't erase a decade of love, a fan wrote on X, formerly Twitter. But others admitted feeling disappointed. It just doesn't feel like Jungkook's birthday without Jimin's wish. It's tradition. It hurts. The division reflected something deeper. How much ARMY projects their own emotions into BTS's relationships, blurring the line between public and private. To truly understand Jimin's choice, fans began revisiting his recent history. Since mid-2025, Jimin has been quieter than usual online. He rarely posted, rarely joined Weverse lives, and kept a low profile after his private relationship was exposed. Every time he appeared, media noise followed. Perhaps silence wasn't neglect, it was survival. By avoiding public birthday posts, Jimin may have been shielding both Jungkook and himself from further drama. But this logic didn't stop the ache fans felt. Interestingly, Jungkook himself didn't show visible sadness during his livestream. He was lively, playful, and full of energy entertaining ARMY, with stories, laughter, and new looks. If Jimin truly did wish him privately, perhaps Jungkook didn't feel the need to share it. Fans pointed to one small detail. When asked about birthday wishes, Jungkook smiled mysteriously and said, "I received many messages. I'm grateful." Did that include Jimin? Many ARMYs believe it did, but left unspoken, it became another layer of mystery. For years, the Jungkook pairing has been one of the most beloved dynamics in BTS. Countless fan edits, compilations, and inside jokes have been built around their closeness. From playful bickering to emotional support, they embodied a brotherhood that fans treasured. But now, some feared that Jimin's silence would be misinterpreted as distance. Could a single unmade post shake the foundation of a legacy built over a decade? For ARMY, the answer was both yes and no. Yes, because emotions are fragile. No, because Jimin and Jungkook's bond has weathered storms before. In Korean culture, silence can carry deep meaning. Sometimes what isn't said is as powerful as words. Fans familiar with this cultural nuance reminded others, BTS often express love privately, away from the spotlight. Perhaps Jimin's silence wasn't absence, but respect. Respect for Jungkook's special day, giving him space, and keeping their bond personal in a world where everything is dissected. If that's true, then silence itself became an act of love. After the initial wave of sadness and confusion, ARMY slowly began to shift perspective. Fan projects that started as "Where is Jimin?" hashtags turned into "We trust Jimin" hashtags. Fans created art, messages, and videos reminding each other of the thousands of moments Jimin had already given Jungkook over the years. Instead of seeing silence as distance, they began framing it as proof of how strong BTS's brotherhood is. So strong it doesn't need public validation every year. Fans revisited previous years, rewatching Jimin's heartfelt birthday wishes to Jungkook. From silly pictures to emotional posts, every memory resurfaced. Watching those moments again felt bittersweet, proof of a love that was real and perhaps still very much alive even in silence. One fan wrote, "We already have a treasure box full of Jimin's wishes for Jungkook. This year, maybe he just added another one privately, and that's okay." What began as silence turned into a wildfire of speculation, something that has often defined BTS's journey. Every small detail, every quiet choice becomes magnified. And in that magnification, fans reflect their own emotions. The truth may be simple. Jimin celebrated privately, but the way fans reacted revealed something profound. How deeply they long to feel included in BTS's brotherhood.